Oh wow, a royal dinner. This is certainly fancy.
I have to admit, I was surprised to learn that you're the chairman of the board of directors, Your Highness. I'd heard that the chairman was a member of the imperial family, but still.
I'm not surprised. Who would expect the infamous prodigal son to chair a committee at a prestigious academy like Thors? I suppose it's not surprising they'd rather keep it hushed up, though. It wouldn't exactly be great for the school's image.
That's surprisingly forthright coming from you. Is it really true, though? I mean, that you were the one responsible for establishing Class 7, Your Highness?
Indeed, I was. You see, it's always been a tradition that a member of the imperial family serves as chairman of the board. At first, I wore the title in name only, but I had a change of heart after my vacation in the Burl 2 years ago.
You were in Liberl back then?
That would put your visit during the incident that occurred there, correct?
Right. All I've done since I returned to Erebonia has been inspired by my experience during the crisis in Liberl. As a result, fruitless though they may prove to be, I've set a number of plans in motion. One of which is to bring the winds of change to Thors Military Academy. A gust of fresh air, if you will.
Winds of change, huh?
I can only assume you're referring to our class?
Then the one who decided to throw both commoners and nobles into the same class was...
Yes, the idea was mine. Although the selected students also had to have a high aptitude with the Arcus units too.
I think I'm finally starting to understand the reasoning behind Class 7, and why we're being sent all over Erebonia on these field studies.
To show us firsthand and give us cause to consider the conflict between the two factions. That is the purpose behind our field studies. Is it not, Your Highness?
That is one of the reasons, yes. However, my foremost intention was to show you that during your lives, you will encounter many obstacles and conflicts. Not just between factions, but between the capital and the provinces, tradition and technology, even between nations. In these turbulent times, I thought that this would provide the hands-on education today's promising youths need. We need up-and-comers who can think and act independently to face tomorrow's challenges head-on.
That makes sense.
Wow, that's quite a plan.
I can't help but feel a little unsure whether we can live up to such high expectations.
Hearing your explanation has, at the very least, cleared up many of the doubts I've had up to this point.
Class 7 does seem like an ideal environment to expand one's outlook on life.
I feel like going through everything we have so far has brought us closer to doing exactly that.
Yep.
Marvelous. I'm so pleased to hear it. Just listening to you makes me feel even more certain that establishing Class 7 was the right decision. Especially since while the idea itself was mine, I have no real say in how the classes run day to day. Even so, I still hope to meet all of you at least once, if only to tell you all this. That was when Alphen stepped in and offered to set up this little meeting.
I see. Well, I could hardly refuse such a sincere request from my brother. But it also presented me a fine chance to finally meet Elise's beloved brother, as I've always wanted to. Your Highness!
Thank you for taking the time to tell us all of this, Your Highness. I feel like now that I know, I want to live up to the promise you saw in Class 7. Thing is, am I right in assuming that Class 7 doesn't exist just to fulfill your progressive ideal?
What do you...
Oh?
The board has its chairman, of course, but 3 directors besides. My older brother Rufus, Imperial Governor Karl Regnitz, and Irina Reinford of the Reinford Group.
Oh, yeah.
Now that you mention it...
They do seem to have certain expectations for us.
Precisely. As I mentioned, I no longer have anything to do with how Class 7 is run. That authority lies with the directors. As you're keenly aware, Rufus and Governor Regnitz sit on opposite sides of the factional divide. And while Chairman Irina is mostly involved with Class 7's technology, like the Arcus, her intentions are a mystery to me. And it's those 3 who decide where you'll travel for your field studies.
Is that right?
Huh.
When you put it that way, It does make it seem like some kind of bargaining is taking place behind the scenes.
It was one of the conditions they gave in exchange for allowing Class 7 to be established. I'll admit, I hesitated to allow it, but I decided to place my hopes in you. We believed then, as we still do, that one day you all will be a great light that can push back the darkness of this country. Well, I suppose when I put it that way, it sounds positively heroic. But that's just me. Don't feel too pressured by it. You're students, first and foremost. Reach out and grab that fragrant rose of school life. Join a club. Eat cheap food with your friends at midnight. Fall in love. We live but once. Make your youth count.
You know, it's weird, but hearing you say that kind of takes a load off my mind.
By the way, just earlier you said that we believed the Class 7 would be a great light. Is there someone else involved with Thors who shares your vision for our class, Your Highness?
There is. Principal Van Dyke. I once attended Thors myself and studied under him. He gave my proposal to establish Class 7 his full backing.
I see.
He's been particularly considerate toward us ever since we arrived at the Academy.
While he has no direct control over the running of the Academy, he does preside over the board meetings. And above all, he's the one who assembled an excellent team to give you first-rate training.
An excellent team, you say?
Yeah, excellent.
Are you referring to Instructor Sarah?
She's certainly one of them. Still, coaxing her away from her former line of work certainly played a large part in giving Class 7 a great foundation. She is, after all, one of the strongest people in the Empire, and her experience makes her a natural field leader.
Wait, what?
Instructor Sarah? One of the strongest people in Erebonia?
Exactly what experience might you be referring to?
I've even heard rumors of her daring exploits myself. She was known as the Purple Lightning. Doesn't that sound exciting?
Wait. Purple Lightning?
I knew it.
If you two have heard of it, it must be a household name among martial artists.
That's right. Though I've just heard it in passing.
Ah, that young ace of the Erebonian Bracer Guild, and one of the Empire's most famous bracers. She has a history full of brave feats and dangerous deeds. She was even the youngest bracer to achieve A-rank status. Back then, she was known as the Purple Lightning. Now, you know her simply as your homeroom teacher.
Hey, a surprise, I guess. Maybe, who knows? I guess it isn't too big of a surprise. We knew that Sarah was strong, but we didn't know she was one of the strongest in the whole country. Let's keep going. A few more scenes. I'll probably finish up these cutscenes then end it. Shouldn't last too much longer. Thanks for seeing us out. You are friends with Princess Alphen of all people. Wish I knew how much of what she said was genuine. Thank you for taking the time to come here today. Take care on your way back to your lodgings. She's acting cold. Rip Reen, jeez. Don't worry. Kind of understand where she's coming from. That anyone could have guessed that Her Highness would extend such a bold invitation to you. I'm not sure how that's my fault. For being the main protagonist. It's your fault for being the main protagonist. Almost forgot. Small favor of me. You're going to ask him. Tomorrow I'll be attending a garden party sponsored by the local government for the start of the festival. Or rather, Machias's father has invited me to attend. And that's the one at the Crystal Garden in Mater Park. Indeed. Anyway, let's not waltz around the matter. That you would join me as my dance part. Whoa. Jeez. That's pretty bold. A dance today, a wedding tomorrow. I'm sure that's fully in the realm of tabloid speculation. Doubt many will interpret it that way. Whoa, hold on a minute. I don't think that I can. I mean, it would be an honor, but it's like too great of an honor for someone like me. Oh, not at all. Your father may be a baron, but the Schwartzes have long had deep ties with the imperial family. I apologize if this comes across as rude, but inviting you would likely create less opposition than if I were to invite Husis. Well, I can't deny that. Rather fascinating. Not helping. Anyway, I really don't think I'm the man you want. Sometimes I can barely keep from tripping over my own feet. A ballroom dancing. In fact, she says that you're an excellent dancer. That you step lightly and very gracefully. I understand. It was rude of me to trouble you with a petition like this on such short notice. And besides, I don't suppose you would have much interest in dancing with a little girl like me. That's not what I mean, Your Highness. Twist the knife. Looks like they're having fun. I had no idea the Imperial Army was such a lively and cheerful bunch. How could it not have crossed my mind? Have a heart set on someone else? Or is there someone you're already courting? Well, do you? I'm positively dying to know which maiden has conquered the battlefield of your heart. Wait, I don't mean. I'm not sure how to turn her down gently. I shall relent this time. Next year I'll be 16, just like your sister. That's when I'll be making my debut into high society. If you give my invitation some thought. Oh boy, that was a big invitation, yeah. No kidding. I'm guessing like Alyssa's mad as well. Seems to take a liking to you. Really ought to have accepted her invitation. It might have led to something, because I'm her friend's brother about it, so I figured she was just trying to tease the two of us. It seemed that way. That wasn't all that was going on there. You weren't the only one feeling nervous the whole time. No doubt about that. It seemed entertaining to be around. Class VII possible. Besides, he gave us plenty of other useful info. Agreed. The highest you can be. The guild is every Jaeger's Corps' main competition after all. Really? Unbelievable. Is that her as well? It is her. Instructor? How long have you been there? Ravishing adult charm. Wow, that's harsh. What was that? And Captain Claire. Quite the unusual combination. This wasn't my idea. The governor asked me to tell you that tomorrow's field study is being put on hold. What evil schemes? Help us with the governor. Be the best way to handle the issue. What is this issue? There's a car there. Let's cover the jeeps. That's some terrible parking. Jesus. To you at the command post in Heimelder Central Station. My god, this cutscene is long. Same day, 21:30. nightlife.